Welcome to our deep dive into the new market wizards. You've provided us with quite a few excerpts, and we're going to pull out those key trading insights, explore the psychology of those who've truly mastered the markets. You ready to unlock some serious trading wisdom?
I think what's fascinating about this book is it goes beyond just strategies and techniques.
Yeah.
It's not just here's how you read a chart.
Right.
It delves into the minds of these market wizards. It's about their discipline, their emotional resilience, and what really sets them apart.
Okay. So let's unpack this first big idea that comes out of the book. It seems like the book is saying, trading is more about psychology than you might think. It's not just about charts and numbers, right?
Absolutely. That's a key takeaway. These market wizards consistently emphasize, discipline, emotional control, patience, and this really interesting point about having a healthy mental attitude towards losing.
Yeah, which makes sense because losing is a part of the game, right?
Absolutely. The book argues that the real battleground for a trader isn't the market itself, but what's happening inside their own head.
Yeah.
It's that inner game.
And there's this really powerful anecdote, actually, in the book about this trader. He was so afraid of his wife's reaction to his losses that he started hiding his account statements. Can you imagine the stress?
I know. Right. It just shows how, personal anxieties, things that we might not even realize are affecting us, can have a huge impact on our trading performance. It's a reminder that we don't come to the market as blank slates.
Right.
We bring our whole selves, our fears, our past experiences, everything into every decision that we make.
So self-awareness is crucial. Now, the book also makes this point about, successful traders, they naturally gravitate toward methods that really align with their personalities. Why is that so important?
Well, the book suggests that a lot of traders struggle because they're trying to force themselves into a mold that just doesn't fit. They're trying to trade like someone else instead of leaning into their own strengths and their natural inclinations.
It's like trying to be a marathon runner when you're really a sprinter at heart.
Exactly.
Yeah. And speaking of, running headfirst into the wrong strategy, the book mentions this idea of the call of the counter trend, which I have to admit, I'm a little guilty of myself sometimes.
Yeah, you and me both, probably.
Yeah.
It's that almost irresistible urge that we have to buy when everyone else is selling and sell when everyone is buying. It seems logical, right? Like buy low, sell high.
Right.
But it can actually be really dangerous.
So why is that? Why is buying low and selling high sometimes the wrong move?
Because in reality, buying when a stock is dropping often means you're buying into weakness that just continues to weaken.
Yeah.
And selling when a stock is rising can mean missing out on further gains. It feels good emotionally to think we're getting a bargain or selling at the top, but that's not always how it plays out in the market.
So it's about resisting those gut instincts and really understanding the market dynamics at play. Now, another section of the book focuses on these traders who started their careers on the floors of exchanges.
Oh, yeah. That's a great part of the book.
What kind of wisdom did they gain from that experience?
Floor trading was intense, man. Fast-paced, high pressure. You had to learn quickly about market dynamics, order flow, the importance of timing, liquidity, all with real money on the line.
Yeah.
You had to be decisive.
It sounds like a real-life boot camp for traders.
Yeah.
What kind of specific lessons did these market wizards take away from that environment?
There's a great anecdote about a silver arbitrage trade. The trader exploited the delays in communication and wide bid-ask spreads that were common in the early days of the market. Back then, information traveled much slower.
Yeah.
And those who could move quickly and decisively had a real advantage.
That makes me wonder if all the technology we have today is always a good thing. It certainly changed the speed at which we trade, but even with all the advances in data and analysis, the book also highlights the role of something that's a little bit less tangible. This idea of intuition and experience. What about that?
Well, many of the market wizards talked about relying on their gut feeling, their intuition, even more than they relied on purely mechanical systems. It's like they developed this sixth sense about the market after years of experience.
There's a great example in the book about Al Weiss, who spent 4 years studying historical charts before making his first real trade.
Wow.
4 years. That's dedication. What was the point of all that chart studying?
Well, Weiss believes that the human mind is actually more powerful than a computer when it comes to analyzing price patterns and identifying trading opportunities. For him, all that time studying charts allowed him to see patterns and make connections that an algorithm might miss.
So it's about developing that deep understanding, almost like chess masters, who can see the whole board several moves ahead. But even with all that experience and intuition, There's always the risk of getting things wrong.
Right.
What do these market wizards have to say about managing risk?
That's where risk management and money management become absolutely critical. These traders, they're all about protecting their capital.
Hmm.
It's about knowing how much to risk on each trade, avoiding excessive leverage, and accepting that even when you have a high degree of conviction, you can still be wrong.
Right. And there's that cautionary tale in the book about a trader who lost his entire firm's capital in just 4 days trading T-bill futures.
I remember that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the scary part is that his market prediction was actually correct. But he used too much leverage. He didn't manage his risk properly. It's a stark reminder that even if you're right about where the market's headed, you can still lose everything if you don't manage your risks.
So it's almost like you can be right and still lose.
Absolutely.
It really highlights the importance of playing the long game. Don't get caught up in the short-term wins or losses.
Exactly. And the book delves into some fascinating techniques these traders use to prepare themselves mentally and emotionally for the challenges of the market. Mental rehearsal, visualization, even self-hypnosis.
Wait, self-hypnosis.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty intense. Do people really use that for trading?
I know it sounds a little out there, but some of the traders in the book actually swear by it.
Hmm.
They use it to reprogram their subconscious minds to overcome limiting beliefs and to manage the emotional ups and downs that come with trading.
So it's about creating a mental and emotional state that's conducive to success.
Exactly. It's not just about the technical stuff.
Right.
It's about addressing those internal barriers,
Yeah.
those mental and emotional aspects of trading that can sabotage even the most skilled trader. It's about mastering, what the book calls that inner game.
Okay. So we've touched on the importance of psychology, matching your trading style to your personality, and some of those valuable lessons from those who started their careers, on the trading floor.
Right.
We also talked about intuition, risk management, even dipped our toes into the world of self-hypnosis. What stands out to you so far?
What really strikes me is that this book is about so much more than just the technical side of trading. It's about understanding the human element,
Yeah.
the psychology behind our decisions, and how to manage those internal forces that can either help us succeed or lead us to make really costly mistakes.
That's a great observation, and we've really just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
There's a whole world of fascinating stories and insights in these interviews with the market wizards. Are you ready to dive deeper?
Let's do it.
Absolutely. I'm really curious to hear about some of the specific examples and anecdotes that illustrate these ideas in action. Let's keep exploring.
So that trader we were talking about earlier?
The one hiding his account statements?
Yes, that's the one. He was so anxious about his wife finding out about his losses.
Yeah, I remember that.
He ended up going to a hypnotherapist who specializes in working with traders, Robert Kraus.
Okay, so he goes to this hypnotherapist. What happens next? Did Krause wave a magic pendulum and suddenly make him a fearless trading machine?
Not quite. But Kraus had him visualize his worst fear, his wife finding those hidden statements and, just unleashing all her anger and disapproval.
Oh, wow.
It was about confronting that fear head on, but in a safe environment.
It's like exposure therapy, right?
Yeah.
Like facing your fears until they lose their power.
That's the idea. Now, here's the really interesting part. The outcome wasn't that he became some bold, aggressive trader. In fact, he actually stopped trading completely.
Whoa, that's a twist? I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Why did he stop trading?
Well, through the hypnosis, it became clear that trading wasn't really his passion. It was more about seeking thrills, escaping a boring life, maybe trying to prove something to himself.
So it's almost like the hypnosis helped him get real with himself about why he was trading in the first place.
Exactly. And that's a powerful lesson for all of us, right? Whether we're in the market or not, are we chasing goals that truly align with what we value? Or are we trying to fill some void, escape something else?
Yeah. It makes you think about, all the people who are stuck in careers or relationships that aren't fulfilling
Yeah.
just because they haven't taken the time to figure out what they really want.
It's a question worth pondering. But getting back to the market wizards, Kraus, the hypnotherapist, shared some insights from his years of working with traders.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Yeah.
What did this trader whisperer have to say?
Well, he emphasized having a really well-defined trading plan, one that's been, back-tested and validated, so your conscious mind fully believes in it. But here's the catch. You also have to address any subconscious resistance to that plan. Those fears, doubts, ingrained beliefs we all carry that can sabotage our best efforts.
So it's like we have this internal battle going on between what we know we should do and what our subconscious is kind of telling us.
Precisely. Kraus argues that until we align our conscious and subconscious minds, until they're both on board with the plan we're constantly fighting against ourselves.
It's making me think about, all those times when I know I should exercise or eat healthy or finish that big project, but I just can't seem to make myself do it.
Maybe you need a hypnosis session. But joking aside, we all have these internal barriers, these limiting beliefs that can really hold us back. And Krauss says we can't just rely on willpower to overcome them.
So what's the alternative? How do we address these subconscious roadblocks?
Well, Krauss uses techniques like hypnosis to bridge that gap between the conscious and the subconscious. He helps people reprogram their thinking with positive, success-oriented beliefs.
So instead of white-knuckling it through sheer willpower, we need to retrain our minds to actually support our goals.
That's the idea. And it's not just about trading. Think about any area of your life where you're struggling to achieve something you really want. Are there any limiting beliefs holding you back?
Okay, I'm definitely going to be thinking about this. It's a whole new way of looking at things.
And it's just one of the many fascinating insights we can glean from the new market wizards. Remember, we've only just begun to explore the wisdom these traders have to offer. There's so much more to uncover, from specific strategies and methods to their perspectives on risk and opportunity.
Yeah, this deep dive is already making me rethink my whole approach, not just to trading, but to achieving any kind of goal.
That's what's so exciting about these deep dives. You never know what you're going to discover about the topic or about yourself.
So what else have you uncovered from these market wizards? Where do we go next in our exploration?
One of the recurring themes in these interviews is this unshakable belief that these traders have in their ability to succeed, not in a cocky way, but just this deep conviction that they can figure things out, learn from their mistakes, and ultimately achieve their goals. It's fascinating.
It sounds like what people call a growth mindset, right? Believing that you can develop your abilities through hard work and dedication, not just relying on innate talent. It's like they have this inner confidence that they can, overcome any obstacle and achieve whatever they set their minds to.
Exactly. And this mindset, it seems to be a common thread among these traders. They're not afraid to experiment, to try new approaches, to push the boundaries. They see challenges and setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow.
There's a quote from one of the traders, Mark Ritchie, that really resonated with me. He said, "My willingness to lose is fundamental to my ability to make money in the markets." It's pretty profound when you think about it.
It really gets to the heart of the trader's mindset. They understand that risk is an inevitable part of the game, but they're not reckless about it. They emphasize managing that risk, absolutely. And one of the ways these traders manage risk is there's something they call mental stops.
Mental stops, what are those?
Okay, so imagine you're in a trade and the market's moving against you. Instead of panicking or holding on hoping for a reversal, you've already decided beforehand, if this stock drops below $50, I'm out no matter what. That's your mental stop.
So it's not a formal stop-loss order that's automatically executed. It's more like a pre-commitment to exit a trade if it hits a certain point. A way to avoid those emotional decisions in the heat of the moment.
Exactly. It's a way to take emotion out of the equation and stick to your plan even when things are getting stressful.
That makes a lot of sense. But what happens if you're in a real slump? Like you've had a string of losing trades. Do you just keep pushing through, hoping things will turn around?
That's where recognizing and adapting to losing streaks comes in. The market wizards, they talk about the need to sometimes step back, reduce their trading size, or even take a break from the markets entirely when they're in a rut.
So it's about knowing when to hold them and knowing when to fold them, as the song goes. It's not about being stubborn. It's about being flexible and adapting to those ever-changing market conditions.
Right. And speaking of knowing when to walk away, it's interesting that several of the traders featured in the book had backgrounds in poker or other forms of gambling.
What's the connection between poker and trading?
Yeah.
What can a card shark teach us about the market?
There are actually a lot of parallels. Both poker and trading require discipline, emotional control, the ability to read situations and make decisions under pressure.
Yeah.
Both involve managing your bankroll, understanding probability, knowing when to cut your losses.
So the same skills that make you a good poker player can also make you a successful trader.
That's what these market wizards seem to suggest. And they also emphasize constantly learning and adapting. One trader even compared trading to a game of chess, where you have to think several moves ahead, anticipate your opponent's actions, and be willing to adjust your strategy as the game unfolds.
So it's not just about reacting to what's happening in the market right now.
Yeah.
It's about having that long-term vision and a plan to achieve it.
Exactly. And that brings us back to the core message of the new market wizards. Success in trading isn't just about technical analysis or following the latest guru. It's about cultivating the right mindset, the emotional resilience, the discipline, and the adaptability to navigate the ups and downs of the market.
It's about mastering that inner game we were talking about earlier, those mental and emotional qualities that ultimately determine whether we succeed or fail, not just in trading, but in any area of life.
That's a powerful insight, and it's something to really reflect on. What are those internal strengths and weaknesses that are shaping our decisions and actions? What can we do to cultivate the qualities that'll help us achieve our goals?
This deep dive has been eye-opening. We've learned so much about the strategies, the mindsets, and the lessons learned by some of the most successful traders of our time. And even though most of us aren't managing billions of dollars, the principles we've explored today are relevant to anyone who wants to improve their decision-making, manage risk, and achieve their full potential.
So, as you continue your journey in the market or in any other pursuit, remember the wisdom of the market wizards. Focus on developing the right mindset. Cultivate discipline and emotional control, and never stop learning and adapting.
It's been an incredible journey exploring these ideas with you. Thanks for sharing your insights and expertise.
It's been my pleasure. And to our listener, I'd leave you with this thought. The journey to success, whether in trading or in life, is a deeply personal one. It's about discovering what works for you, what resonates with your values and your strength. So keep exploring, keep learning, and most importantly, keep believing in your ability to achieve your goals.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of the new market wizards. Until next time, keep those mental stops in place. And remember, the real trading edge is often found not in the charts, but in the mirror.